Hey you all, Akasa Living here. I want to follow up on yesterday. Yesterday we talked about how the way we have our highest and best good life is we get rid of the trauma, drama, blame, shames, woulda, coulda, shouldas. We make sure that we're sovereign of self and that we're holding frequency. And we don't let the aspects of self run our lives and ruin our lives. And that when we do that, our light being, which we are, we're one whole complete light being, the highest vibrational part of us, our source energy, can come down through our energy column, through our chakra system, and be expressed in tactility, in an actual physical reality through us in the best life possible, our highest possible timeline. That is what we're here to do. And it's illusion and delusion. It's not the best. It's not even what we're here to do. And it's not what we can best do whenever the aspects of us or our trauma, drama, blame, shame, woulda, coulda, shouldas are involved, and we start trying to manipulate others to get them to do what we want, to make what we want happen. Because the truth is we have to be in frequency and attract in resonant energies and flow to have the highest and best good in our life. That's the highest and best good reality we can live. Any other type of life where we're holding on and we're doing things to make them happen, that is not a reality. That is an illusion, because it's going to slip through our fingers. The moment we stop doing all the energy, the moment we stop putting all the energy in to manipulate to make it happen, it's going to slip away. And the truth is, it's not really happening for us anyway, because the second that person awakens to what's happening, hold on a second, I don't have to do this. I'm sovereign of self. That's not what I want to do. They don't do it. And so it's an illusion that it's even what's happening anyway. That's why that's an illusion and delusion, because it's only reality whenever energy is truly behaving as free-flowing energy, and it's only coming in because you're holding frequency and it's in frequency and you're truly attracted to one another and flowing together. That's reality of how energy works. And so any other way of doing it with illusion and delusion, it's not going to work. It may work for a little bit, or you may tell yourself, you may delude yourself that it's working, but you're not really happy, because of all the gyrations you're going through, the roles you're playing, the manipulation or the way you're being manipulated for it to quote unquote work. So that's kind of what we were talking about yesterday. Now, what does that look like in the real world? What's that got to do with like an everyday relationship or a job or a friendship? Well, that's what I want to kind of talk to you about today. I know, like, two sisters that were at a car dealership at the same time. Didn't even know they were there at the same time. And one sister went just in frequency, just knowing her worth. She just went to get her car. Just went to get the best car she could get. And another sister, I'm not sure what her mentality was when she went. But the sister that I know went with highest and best good, just, okay, I know I'm worthy of a good car. I know I'm worthy of a great deal. I know I'm worthy of this, because everybody's worthy of that. Everybody should have an amazing car. This person truly feels that way. Everybody should have an amazing car. Everybody should have a car deal. Should be an amazing experience. This should be easy. This should go well for people. She got there and she ended up, for the same cost that a lesser car, she ended up with this amazing high-end vehicle that had leather seats and a sunroof and ambient lighting and all this stuff that she never dreamed of. And she paid what it turned out that her sister, who was also making a deal, and she didn't know her sister was there. They weren't even from the same town. They lived in different towns. But this was a bigger town where you would go to get a car. And so her sister was making a deal for a car and got the lesser version, like Ford Mercury, like that, okay? And so the one sister who got the nicer vehicle, she didn't think anything about it. She didn't know what her sister paid. She didn't know any of that stuff. She only knew what she did. She only knew that she went in, and what was attracted to her was a salesman who said, well, I know what you're wanting to pay. I know what you want. Hold on, let me see what I can do. and she got an amazing deal, and she got this amazing vehicle. And she really didn't want all those other things. She only said, well, I need for the seats to be heated because blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, for me to get that, it's got to have these packages too. And this is what she ended up with. And so later she ran into her nephew, the son of the sister who got the lesser deal. And the nephew said, yeah, Mom told me that as usual, you had to have the best. And she's like, what? Well, yeah, no telling how much more you spent than Mom, because of course you had to have the best again. What? The sister didn't know what to think, because she really didn't spend more. She got an amazing deal because she just went in just in the frequency of, this is what I need. She was open and honest and said, this is what I have to spend. This is what I can do. This is what I need. And she attracted in that's what she attracted in. It had nothing to do with thinking that she had to have the best or that she was better or any of those things, which the nephew clearly indicated was, his mannerisms, all of that stuff. It was clearly indicated. It was clearly indicated what the opinion was. Okay, we let those kind of things cause us to think badly of ourselves. We let that kind of family attitude about us cause us to think, wow, they see me as overreaching. My own dad used to tell me, you're a snob. You think you're better than other people. No, I don't. I'm right here with everybody else. Why do you think that? Well, because I wanted a different life. Because I wanted to go on vacations, and people like us didn't go on vacations. People like us don't have money for that. Why not? I'm going to school. I'm going to make good money. Why can't I go on vacations? Why is it that people on TV can go on vacations but we can't? That made me a snob. That made me somehow thinking I was something I wasn't. So we let people put this on us. We let people pull us out of our frequency. We let people cause us to have lesser lives because they cause us to see ourselves as smaller or think that we have to be smaller or cause us to fill roles we don't have to fill. We're sovereign of ourselves. The sister that got the nicer car, she didn't do anything wrong. She had no reason to feel badly about herself when the nephew left and said, well, once again, you had to have the best. No, she didn't go to get the best. She went to get this one feature and was really open with the dealer and said, okay, this is what I can do. And the dealer said, hold on, let me see. And the dealer made a deal for her because she attracted that in with her energy. Period. She was in frequency and she attracted that in. Period. She didn't do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, she was doing everything energetically right. Another situation that I'm aware of is like someone who's come out of a divorce, someone who's come out of a bad relationship and has done a lot of inner work and knows what they want. And so they've met several someones, and they've sifted through and they're like, no, that one's not the right one, that one's not the right one. So they meet someone that seems to be the right someone and that is really being pushed by other people to be the right someone. So they take them to meet some family members, and while this person is talking to some of the family and they all seem to be getting along great, there's a conversation on the side with a trusted cousin or whatever. And the conversation is like, I know he seems great, but there's something just not there. I can't put my finger on it. Something just not right here. And that trusted family member, why can't you be like the rest of us? Why are you always reaching for so much? Why can't you just settle for good enough like the rest of us do? And that person feeling put in their place. That person feeling, wow, I'm asking for too much. I'm too much. I want too much. Instead of being, hold on a second, I know my worth. I'm not asking for too much. I'm not overreaching. I'm doing this the right way. I'm making sure that the relationship I'm going to get in is the right one for me, so I'm not unhappy again. So I don't end up in a bad situation again. But family pressures. Everyone thought this guy was amazing. Everyone just loved him. And you're not going to do better than this. Why can't I? What do you mean I can't do better? If this person is not the right person for me, then it doesn't mean he's a bad person. It doesn't mean any of that. It just, so what does this I can't do better mean? It's not that I'm saying he's a lesser person. He's just not right for me. But what this person was getting was, you're the bad person. You're a bad person. Your thinking is wrong. No, this person's thinking was right. This person's way of being was right. This person was operating energetically from the right place. But we get talked out of that by societal programming, by family pressures, by ancestral pressures, by family lineage, by peer pressure, by roles that family assigns us to play or makes us feel like that we're in. I'm the one that's always reaching for too much. I'm the bad one here. And so we can't, and it's because we're with non-resonant energies to begin with. We're going and we're hanging out with family who doesn't understand, and it doesn't make them bad, but we're not resonant with them. Our way of being and our way of seeing the world doesn't resonate with them. And yet those are the people we're going to and getting our advice from. And they're giving us bad advice. And we're following it because they're causing us with what they say. They're triggering us with what they say to fall back into old patterns of behavior that are going to put us right back into lives we just worked so hard to get out of. Now, they didn't do that on purpose. They didn't do something to us, but they were non-resonant energy for us. And you're like, but hold on, that's your family. That's somebody's sister. That was somebody's nephew. That was somebody's cousin. That was somebody's, and you're saying they shouldn't have been there. It was non-resonant energy. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm not saying, excuse me, that they should never spend time with those people. I'm saying that's not the people you go spend all your time with. That's not the people you go to for advice. That's not the people you listen to. And when they say stuff like that, you know yourself. You know yourself well enough, and you hold your frequency and you say, so how about those Dodgers? Or some bullshit like that. Whatever you have to maintain the integrity of your energetic field. Don't let that bullshit into it. Don't let that pull you out of frequency. And then you go get with resonant energies that think and feel and are like you. So you make the choices that are sovereign of you, that are going to be fifth dimensional, not three dimensional, because all that stuff they were saying, that's three dimensional. And you were being fifth dimensional, and you were being pulled out of that. Now, does it make those people bad? It's a different way of being. And we've all been there. Because it's what we were all raised in. It's what we all know. It's what the whole freaking planet's been in. And we've been working for some time coming out of it. It's what the whole dawning of the age of Aquarius was about. And that started, it's like a clock. You know, it doesn't become 5 o'clock like, well, it's 4 o'clock, boom, 5 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock, it takes a while. It comes around and, well, it's 5 o'clock. Same way with dawning age of Aquarius. It takes a while to get there. So some people started waking up and coming into higher frequency before others. Does it make anybody better than someone else? The level of conscious awareness we're at is where we're at. And we've all been at a different level of consciousness. And some things we wake up to sooner than others. We may be at a very high level of conscious awareness on relationships and suck at work and making money, or vice versa. Or one day be really, I'm on today, but then be tired and drained and really off for a month and then back on again. So we can't look at someone else and say, well, they're really 3D, aren't they? No. We've all been 3D. We're all coming out of it. But does their energy resonate with you? If it's not resonating with you, then light and love, But I'm going over here and I'm going to hold my frequency and I'm going to attract in people who do resonate with me. I'm not judging you. I'm great with where you are. You're attracting people who resonate with you. And as the whole planet's frequency come up and we all do this, yours is going to come up too. And you're going to attract higher and higher frequency people. Well, we're still not all going to be alike. And chances are, my group of people that resonate with me and your group, they're probably still going to be different. But we're going to see each other differently. And instead of you saying, well, boy, she's got to have the best, doesn't she? Well, there she goes again. She just won't settle like the rest of us. You'll be over there with your group of resonant people, and I'll be over here with mine, and we'll be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that, but look at them. They're having such a great time, and they're so good at it. Yeah, light and love to them. Yeah, and we'll have mutual respect for one another because we're all higher vibrational. We still don't need to be asking one another's advice and buddy, etc., but we don't have to avoid each other either because we have mutual respect. But that's still not the person that you spend all your time with. Now, at some point, it may come around to where you resonate on, apples and applesauce, like I talked yesterday. It might be your apples and oranges become apples and applesauce. So maybe you can spend more time together without breaking the integrity of your energetic fields. Because if they're breaking the integrity of yours, you're messing with the integrity of theirs. That's why we want to be with resonant energies. That's why we want to be who we are. Some people are like, man, that is selfish. You got to be who you are. Damn, that's selfish. No. It's selfish to not be who you are and to be in somebody's life and not be real. That's selfish. Because you're holding space in their life. That's not authentic. And then what's really going to fit in their life and make them happy, there's no room for it. Because you're holding that space. And you're not being the real you. So you don't really resonate with them. And they're like, yeah, most of the boxes are ticked, but something's off. I don't know what it is. Something here doesn't feel right, but they're ticking most of the boxes. And yeah. And they're holding on like this, and they say they want to be with me, or this job says they don't want me to leave, or that friend says, I'm the bomb. Yeah, something doesn't seem right here. Yeah, that's something that doesn't seem right. Let it go. It doesn't mean you never see that person again. It doesn't mean you become enemies. It doesn't mean one of you's good, one of you's bad. It means that's not the most resonant energy for you. So you're holding a space in their world, and they're holding a space in yours that's keeping both of you from having your highest and best good. So stop it already. And be yourselves. And attract in your best and highest good. And stop listening to non-resonant energies and not doing this. Because you're preventing yourself from having your highest and best good when you do that. When we listen to these non-resonant energies, we're robbing ourselves. We're playing ourselves. When we listen to the societal programming that's in us that says, yeah, that you fell for that person hard. You know that's your person. Everything in you screaming that's your person. But you're not good enough for them. I'm sorry. When everything in you scream that's your person, you're good enough. Everything in you can't scream that's your person and you not be good enough. That's the societal programming blocking you. That's your energy column having aspects of self, woulda, coulda, shoulda, trauma, drama, blame, shames, ancestral lineage issues, and all the crap blocking you from your highest vibrational self up here, your source energy, being able to send the transmission. It tried, and you got part of it. Yeah, that's everything in me lit up. That's my person, but no, I can't have them. Or that's my job, but no, I can't have it. You're robbing yourself, and you're letting all these things do it. And then you're self-sabotaging by going to non-resonant energies and getting them to tell you, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's too good for you. That job's too, yeah, you couldn't do that job. You're right. No, people like us, we don't have jobs like that. People like us don't do that. You're right. Yeah, you don't want to own a house like that. You know the taxes you have to pay on that? But when you're afraid and you've been raised in fear, you look for people who agree with you. and say, oh yeah, you're right, don't do that. And that's who you surround yourself with. You surround yourself with non-resonant energies instead of energies that are high vibrational and will support you in going for your best and highest good. You will self-sabotage yourself. You will stay low vibrational, and you will stay around lower vibrational people. I'm not saying bad people. I'm not saying lesser people. I'm saying people who are in a different frequency that is not vibrating up here at the highest source energy level. But in these aspects, in the trauma, drama, blame, shames, woulda, coulda, shouldas. I know myself, I've come out of some bad relationships because I've come through all of this kind of stuff. And I've been learning all of this my whole life. This is a culmination of a life's work here. And all of the different things I've done in my life, being a performer, being a writer, being a staff development person, an adult educator in healthcare, being someone who lives with chronic pain, invisible illness, being all the things that I am. All of this is a culmination of that, having allergies. So as I'm going through all of this, I was talking to someone the other day about moving on from a relationship that I know what it should be. It was not a relationship. We're not in a relationship, but talking to them about why it's not a relationship and wanting it to be. And but realizing that it doesn't matter what I want. I can't put pressure. I can't exert force on that person's energy, or then I'm doing 3D stuff. 5D is I hold my frequency and that person comes in or they don't. If they do, then we're in flow and we'll be happy. Because we'll be at our highest and best good, both of us. But I have to be at my highest and best good, and they have to be at whatever they perceive theirs to be. Because you see, whatever level of consciousness we're at, that's what we perceive. It's our truth. And our truth changes as our level of consciousness changes. So yes, truth changes. And that's why we don't spend all this time ruminating, trying to figure other people out. Because what you figure out at that moment in time is only based on what their level of consciousness is at that moment in time. And then 6 months later, you're like, well, I thought the issue was that. But now I think really what was going on with that person was this. No, what you're getting now is they're in a different energy. So that's why you're getting a different what was going on with them. You probably had the right thing back then. That probably is what was going on with them. The reason you're getting something different now, they're in a different energy. So you're getting the level of consciousness they're in now. And if the event happened now, you're getting what their thoughts and feelings and energy in motion would be on it. So you could spend a lifetime going over one event that happened and checking in on that and spending weeks, months, whatever, ruminating on it, analyzing it, wonder why they did that. And it's going to change as they change. So you never really get the answer, because there is no one answer. Because truth is always relative to where our level of consciousness is. And the energy hits we get are always going to be relative to where that person's energy is whenever we're getting the energy hits, that when our intuition is tuning into it. So that's why it's like, I was so sure that what happened was this, but now I think it's that. It's because their level of conscious awareness has changed, and so has yours. And you're like, you're saying then that something different happened. No, I'm saying that now you both perceive it differently because your conscious awareness is different. You're saying, well, that doesn't make sense. Either it happened or it didn't. It happened. But your perception of it and why it happened is entirely different. And because that is your perception, that is your truth. And you could argue with each other all day long. No, you said this, you did that. You're never going to convince them. Because it's not their reality. It's yours. Because it was your level of consciousness and how it triggered you. Now, it doesn't mean they're not accountable if they did something they shouldn't have done. But how do you hold them accountable? Light and love. I don't want you in my energetic field anymore. And you just do that. You don't give them your energetic bandwidth anymore. Doesn't mean you have to have a falling out with them. Doesn't mean you're good, they're bad. It means you're not resonant, at least on that subject. Maybe you're not resonant at all. Maybe it's one subject, maybe it's two subjects, maybe it's life in general. But we have to accept each other where we're at with our level of conscious awareness and understand this is how life works. So, excuse me, my allergies, folks. I didn't take my medicine this morning for them. Before we, and for those who are saying, well, that's a throat chakra issue. Yes, it can be. But we also live in a world where we do have physical reactions to trauma, physical trauma, and we also have physical reactions to the environment around us. Environmental things are environmental things. So, but I do pay attention to allergies and drainages and all those things. And if it's a throat chakra issue, believe me, I deal with it. So for those who are like, oh, I think she's got a throat chakra issue, she does. She has many of them. She's working on them. This, though, is allergies. But so when we spend hours and hours and days or sleepless nights or whatever going over and over stuff in our head, and we're like, man, I thought I had this figured out. You did. But it's changed because the energy's changed. So you're just wasting your energy doing that. That's why we call ourselves back to ourselves all the time. Is because we are constantly doing that. Either in the past, where we're thinking about what happened, or in the present, where we're here in the moment, and we're just like, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? And we just can't, we're stuck. We can't move forward. Or in the future, where we're like, when I see them, the next time I see them, well, who knows when that's going to be and what the energy is going to be then. That's why we're constantly being told, be in the present. Do what's right in front of you. Now, that doesn't mean that whatever's right in front of you, don't be in a relationship because the only person you can be with is the person right in front of you, and the other person is probably there with the person right in front of them. It doesn't mean that at all. If you're with a resonant energy, if you're in a relationship with a resonant energy, then the two of you are committed to one another. And for anyone who thinks that they don't belong in a relationship, energies are always in relationship. You're always in relationship with people. That doesn't mean at this moment in time you necessarily are supposed to be in a committed relationship. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that for those who are using this as an excuse to, see, I told you committed relationships don't work. No, that's not true. Committed relationships absolutely work when you're with the resonant energy. But if you're with a non-resonant energy, absolutely it doesn't. But the problem is, those are the relationships we get in, and then we say, oh man, relationships suck. No, you're in the wrong relationship, and you hold on to those for dear life, and then the right ones come along, and you self-sabotage those because, well, you were in those wrong ones, and, well, you know, that didn't work. So yeah. So anyway, I was having this conversation, and I was saying, you know, I'm going to move forward. You know, I'm going to have this amazing life. I'm going to be in a beautiful, happy relationship. And this person was like, they had another family member. They're like, you know, I've got this family member going through this, and they're saying a lot of the same stuff you are, and they're going from guy to guy to guy trying to find this. And I was like, you know, when we're doing that, yes, we're going to be putting out our frequency, and we're going to attract in a bunch of people. That's what I talked about in, this is jobs, friendships, relationships. This is what I talked about in the last video. I get to looking at myself. Am I doing that? Well, you're going to have people coming in, and you have to explore those options, you know, but that's why you get specific about, well, that lights me up, that lights me up. Ooh, I really like that. Ooh, don't like that so much. So you magnetize the more specific, but you don't get so narrow that it's got to be that one over there, that you don't get anybody because that one over there isn't in the same energy you're in. Even though you're quite sure you want that one over there, you're pulling yourself out of frequency, and they're not in frequency, and that doesn't work. So I looked at that. What you do is truly, you hold your frequency and you put it out. And people come into your life, you spend some time with them, And you hold your values, you hold your frequency, and you speak your truth. And when somebody is disrespectful to you, you say, excuse me, hold on. You were the one who did such and such. And I've said to you, I don't, that's not resonant with me. So we don't need to be in a relationship. Then you're the one who said, no, please, I want to be. I understand what you were saying, and you're right. And so I said, okay, well, maybe your frequency has changed. And now I've let you back at my door, and you're 2 hours late. And the reason you're 2 hours late is because you were doing what? Yeah. No, we're still not resonant. Light and love to you. Go. That's not going through a string of people. That's not, well, let me see. Let me hold on to that person. Well, let me go ahead and go to bed with them because, they're hot. And maybe if I go to bed with them, they'll be sorry that they did that to me, and they'll tell me they're sorry. No, they're not going to be sorry. You went to bed with them. They got what they wanted. And they're not going to be sorry. And you're not going to feel better about it either. You're like, well, but sex will be great. Well, yeah, but then you're going to feel like, well, I was used for sex. Yeah. And you use them for it too. But you still feel exactly what you felt before, disrespected, because the very thing they told you they were going to do, they didn't do. And readily admitted it to you. And you looked at them and you're like, you told me this, and then you just are now telling me that you did that. And you're standing here looking at me, and I'm even saying to you, I'm clarifying with you. So, hold on. And you're telling me you're 2 hours late because you were doing what? And I'm supposed to feel like I matter to you? No. No. I don't. And, yeah, I could go to bed with you, and it could feel great and all that stuff. But the truth is, I want a relationship. And I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who's going to do what you just did. Now, that doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't make me better than you. It means we don't resonate with one another. And yeah, the sex would be hot, and I would enjoy that. But I would feel badly about myself afterwards, because then I'm going to have to look you in the eye and say, I remember what you told me. And as great as that sex was, it feels yucky right now because, well, frankly, what you did was pretty asshole. And so get out. So instead of feeling badly about yourself, just tell them to get out to begin with. And then that whole, well, you're going through a string of guys stuff. Well, no, you're not going through a string of guys, nor are they going through you. You held your frequency, and you spoke your truth. And the second you felt that, ooh, this doesn't feel right. What he just said feels yucky. What she just said feels yucky. What my boss said to me feels yucky. What my friend just said to me, that felt yucky. Now, it doesn't mean that we won't sometimes slip and do something yucky. I'm talking about a pattern somebody has, okay? Because we all can have our moments when we maybe say something a way we shouldn't have or whatever, we're tired or whatever. I'm talking about a pattern somebody has. And they say something to you in your heart space, your higher self, your source energy is like, no, we don't want that. We know ourselves. We know what our frequency is, and that doesn't match our frequency. And you ignore it. Don't ignore that. That's you telling you, yep, they check all the boxes except some really important ones right here. Don't ignore this. Because when you ignore that, you're going to end up in a non-resonant relationship, and you're going to end up hurting. And that person's going to hold space in your life that keeps a resonant relationship from coming in. And you're holding space in their life that keeps them from having what resonates with them. You're not being a bitch when you look at them and say, excuse me, what did you just say? Say that again. That's what I thought you said. That hurts right here. My higher self just said, no, that's not what we want. That doesn't resonate with us. So, yeah, I know what you told me, and I know you said it really sweetly, and I know you check all these boxes. I know, but, yeah, one big box here or two big boxes here, you just all over them. And so, right now I know what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you, and so we're not good for one another. So let's just be friends. Let's resonate with each other on the cylinders we resonate with one another. And call it a night, and you need to go. And then you haven't gone through a string of people. Nor have you been gone through by a string of people. You've spoken your truth. And you freed up the energetic bandwidth in your life to attract in someone else and go through that same process of meeting that person, getting to know that person, and finding out how many of your chakras are going off. How much of your energetic bandwidth feels good with them. And are there any red flags going off? When you clear that energy column out, and when you don't let the aspects of you in with illusion and delusion, when you're in reality of your highest and best good, when you don't let the ancestral programming, the lineage, when you don't let what societal programming says, when you don't let family, when you don't let friends, when you don't let non-resonant energies, when you don't sabotage it or self-sabotage it, when you let pure source energy come through and say, no, this is our best and highest good, this is what we want, this is what we want, when you let that come through, yeah, this feels good, this feels good, this feels good, yeah, this is it. That's the relationship you keep. That's the relationship you stay in. That's the one that's going to flow. Does that mean that there's never going to be a hiccup? No. But the hiccups are not going to be, oh my God, that just broke my heart. Oh my God, this is insurmountable. It's not going to be a pattern that every time you turn around, they're doing it again. It's going to be like, hold on, that's out of character. What's going on here? And it's going to be okay that you did that. Because they're going to be like, yeah, that didn't feel right. Yeah, let's talk about that. Or hold on, it's not even you. Just let me go to the mirror here and let me fix it. I got it. Because they know you don't fix them and they don't fix you. And they don't want to wrangle you in and say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Get in the box here and feel it the way I meant for you to. They don't tell you to do that. They don't tell you feel it the way I meant for you to. They're like, wow, I triggered you with that. Why did I do that? And you're like, yeah, I'm looking into it too. I'm dealing with me. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go deal with me. And then two of you come back and you talk about it, and then you're flowing again and you move on. And you're resonating energies when you can do that. So if you have someone in your life that you can have these conversations with, you light each other up, and you can actually sit down and say, you know, you did such and such, and it triggered me this way. And I'm not labeling you bad or good or judging you for it, but I'm looking at me and I'm working on that so I don't get triggered that way again. And they're like, yeah, you know, I didn't mean it that way. Let me look at why I did that. And then they go and they're like, yeah. And maybe they come back with a change, and maybe it was all you. But you can have the conversation again and say, yeah, I see how that happened now. Do you see how? And you two of you still light each other up. That's your person. That's your person. Now, it doesn't matter if that person doesn't know they're your person. If they're not consciously aware of it, then they're not your person, because you can't make them see it. But if you're having those conversations, they're going to get there, or those conversations aren't going to continue. But those are the kinds of conversations that are, well, that's the kind of conversations you want to be able to have at work. That's a job you can stay at. That's a conversation you want to be able to have with a friend. That's a friendship that'll last. That's a conversation you want to be able to have in your intimate relationships, because those are the relationships that will stay and flow, and that you don't go from person to person, but you build with and you have a life with. And that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to be in relationship here. Energy does things in pairs. When you look at how molecules are constructed, when you look at how energy works, none of it's floating out there in space by itself. Everything is attracting something. So you're always attracting something. Why not make sure what you're attracting in is something you can build a stable energetic field with, a beautiful life with, your highest and best good life. Make sure that the energetic bandwidth for your life is being filled with those jobs, those hobbies, those people, those friends, those relationships, and those others that are just the supporting cast in you self-sabotaging, or the supporting cast in keeping you in 3D. Those are the ones you let go of. And again, I'm not saying you look down on them. I'm not saying you never have anything to do with those people. But for the most part, you let go of them. Because you're taking up room in their energetic field too. If they're not right for your energetic field, you're not right for theirs. You see, true self-care is never, ever about, that's not right for me, so talk to the hand. True self-care is always going to be, well, it wasn't right for me, so it wasn't right for them either. Because it can't be right for you and not right for them. Those two things don't go together. Energies have to be resonant to be right, to be together. So that can be your person, that can be your twin flame, that can be your dream job. But if the energies involved with that aren't there yet, if they're not at that conscious awareness yet, then it's not yours yet. And may not be. That's why you always have to be calling your energy back to yourself, raising everything up to the vibrational frequency of your best and highest good in reality now. Letting your source energy open up your chakra system, remove all the energetic entanglements. Do all of this for past, present, and future. And go forward on your timeline right here where you're at. Because their past energies and your past energies, different level of conscious awareness. Future ones, we don't know what they're going to be. Because we're all changing level of consciousness based upon all of us changing level of consciousness. All of our chakra systems are connected. So what I learned today gets sent out into the cosmos and it gets into everybody else's awareness. And what everybody else learns gets into mine. So we're all constantly getting higher levels of conscious awareness all the time. There was a point in time when the way our energies were trying to do this was reverse engineering everything and coming here with, this is our story. This is your frequency. Hold it. This is the story. And then they realized this is why it's not working. Is because nobody's doing that. The trauma, drama, blame, shames, woulda, coulda, shouldas, the aspects of us are getting in the way, etc., etc. And we're trying our damnedest to do it, but we can't keep up with the butterfly effect. Because we can't reverse engineer it. We have to be in the now. And we have to be going with what's happening now. So we have to be calling our energy to ourselves, going forward on our highest and best timeline all the time. We have to keep that energy column clear. We have to be able to transmit and get a clear transmission. No loss in translation of as above, so below. So that best and highest good that we're deciding on can be expressed. And our source energy knows we can't live 14 different types of lifetimes at one time. So it's not going to be schizophrenic with it. It's not going to be, oh yeah, today let's be a doctor, that's our best and highest good. Tomorrow let's be a dentist, that's going to be our best and highest good. Let's be single today. No, let's be married today. No. If that's happening to you, you're not getting source energy. You're getting aspects. Source energy knows you only have the energetic bandwidth to handle one big, beautiful storyline at a time. One big, beautiful, as above, so below at a time. You're not going to be jerked around like that. So I hope all of this has made sense to you. I hope it helps you. I hope that my antidotes about people that I'm aware of, and my own little antidote there, is it helps you. Folks, we have not understood what it means to be energy. We say it. A lot of people say, yeah, I know we're energy. Yeah, we're protons, electrons, neutrons. I get that. Everything's energy. Well, folks, this is what all that means. And I love getting the downloads and having it explain to me what it means. I love having my energy column clear to know these things and to share them with you. I love that. I love that. Because so many people are saying it, and they're sitting on mountaintops, and then 2 hours later, they're like, I had a great meditation, but now meditation doesn't really work because I went and I watched the news and I had to talk with my sister and I did this, and this, and I feel like shit again. Yeah, it's because you just opened up your energetic field to everything that just undid all the stuff that your meditation did. Because you don't understand what it means when you say we're energy. It's practical. It's not sci-fi. It's not woo-woo magical thinking. But folks, my God. And you can call it God if you want to. Universe, whatever you want to, because obviously it's conscious energy. The more we understand it, the higher vibration we all get, the more we live this truth and live as conscious energy and let our highest and best good, our as above, so below, our heaven on earth come through and be translated, expressed through us. Well, for human beings, that's as magical as it gets. So yeah, in the beginning there was energy, neither bad nor good. But look how far we're going. And it's freaking magical for us, folks. Now, I'm going to finish my walk. I got a magical day ahead of me. You have one too. Every day. Let's all do that. Let's all put out the energy that we're all supposed to have. The practical magic of being the highest vibrational frequency light beings we can possibly be, being expressed right here on the third rock from the sun. Later, y'all.